I've got 4 situations that could cause you to lose a client if you don't say the right thing. Scripts work. What you say matters. And given that we're in this new market, which was like the old market before 2020, where every single conversation has major implications when you're trying to help people make a huge financial decision, we've seen agents across the country, locally, all over the place, run into these 4 situations that are pretty common. And if they don't know what to say, you could lose the client. So I'm going to break down each one and tell you exactly what to say in that situation so you're being solution oriented and can come from a place of service to ultimately help people continue to build the relationship and make sure you're saying the right thing in the right situation. Here's number 1. The buyer wants to see a home at a certain time and you're not able to meet them. And here's some of the mistakes that agents are making. They're saying things like, hey, I'm going on a date with my spouse that night. Or I've got to pick my kid up from a soccer game. Or I'm not available right now because I'm getting my hair done. All these things, the clients don't care. And I'm not saying these things aren't important. I'm saying you've got to adjust what you say to people. Any sort of personal commitment, I would substitute that commitment in for I've got another appointment or I have a meeting, because that's what people expect. They want their agent to be available all the time. So if Nick comes up to me and calls me and it's Saturday morning and he wants to see a home Saturday at 2 o'clock and I've got somewhere to be, whether it's an actual appointment or I've got another commitment, the response is this: hey Nick, unfortunately I've got another appointment at that time. I can meet you at 12 o'clock or I can do 3:30. Which one is better for you? Or I can meet you earlier in the day or I can meet you tomorrow. Which one is better for you? You want to offer 2 times. It's called an alternative choice close, and come up with a solution. Not, hey, no, I can't do it because I've got this personal commitment, and naming the commitment because the client doesn't care. It's, I've got another appointment. Here's 2 other times I can make work. Which one's going to be better for you? Inevitably, people will pick one. That's bringing solutions, not, hey, I can't make it and stopping right there. Because if you say no and don't offer alternative choices to the client, to the consumer, they might go somewhere else and call another agent. So that's number 1. The second one is you get an inbound inquiry, and this is a new client. I want to be really clear here. The last one's kind of an existing client, or maybe someone you're starting to work with, or even maybe the initial meeting. It could apply to a lot of things. This is specifically when it's a new client. The home they inquire about is sold, and they don't know about it. So what I'm clear you want to do is set the appointment anyway. And here's why. If you just tell the people, they call in, you get an online inquiry, you get an email, hey, sorry, Wendy, the home's sold, but I'll put you on an MLS strip, that is reactive. That's not playing offense in your business. And what's going to happen there is people are going to continue to look on their own and look at you as someone that didn't offer any solutions. So instead, what I would do and what we train on is this: set the appointment and then call them back. And here's the script. Hey, Wendy, unfortunately, the home we were going to look at 123 Banana Street, it went under contract between when we spoke and when I'm calling you back right now, and it just got updated, so we can't get into it. So what I've taken the liberty to do is set up 2 other properties that are similar. One's right in the same neighborhood. It's priced a little lower. It's a little smaller. And I've got another one about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away that is the same sort of size, same bedroom, same bathrooms, and just in a different neighborhood. Why don't we keep the appointment? I'll show you these 2, and if anything, it'll help you get a feel for what's out in the market, and then I'll make sure that you're getting notified in real time with any new listings that come to the market moving forward. So you want to keep the appointment? And that is, again, you're offering solutions. You're bringing value to the table, and you're giving the folks something that's going to show that you care about them and you're focused on solving their problem, which is finding a house. If there's no other homes to show or they don't want to look at them, flip it to, hey, why don't we set up a strategy session? Why don't we set up a meeting so we can talk about how this won't happen to you again, and I can keep you updated and walk you through how the process works. So that's number 2. Not just the home is sold, sorry, and moving on, offer solutions with other properties to look at, or try to set up a meeting so they don't miss out on homes again. That's what consumers want. They want you to help them solve their problem. Here's number 3. There's an open house, and the buyer wants to go to the open house, and you don't maybe have a solid relationship with them yet. This is where it gets a little dicey, and you have to make a judgment call. So instead of just saying, hey, go ahead to the open house, I would give an alternative choice close. Hey, you know what, Brian? Open houses tend to be kind of crazy, so I can schedule a private tour for you before the open house, either the day before, the morning of, or after the open house. Which one's going to be better for you? And that way, you're in control. You're the one meeting them there, and you're not exposing your client or the prospect you're trying to turn into a client to another agent who's going to do the same thing. And I can't blame them for, by the way. We're all here to sell houses, so you've got to think about, how do I protect my business, protect my prospects, protect my people? And that's a way for you to maintain control and also deliver value, because open houses are a little crazy right now. There's lots of people there. You can't go through the home at your leisure, take that more detailed inspection. So really, really critical script here. Or if they insist on going to the open house, hey, let me do this. I'm going to call the listing agent and let them know you'll be coming, so they leave you alone, and I'll get you all pre-registered. Either way, you've got to take control and make sure you're the one driving the bus, because if you're not directing the course here, you could potentially lose a client. So offer a time before and later, similar to the first option when you can't make the appointment, or pre-register them for the open house and let the listing agent know. And the fourth one, people come in, it's a new lead, they call in the office on one of your listings, and they say, I have an agent. That can mean a lot of things. It could mean they've met somebody once. It could mean somebody's put them on an MLS trip, which is totally reactive. We already talked about that. It could mean they're working with somebody and not happy, and maybe their agent's not the one running the search like we talked about, that's taking the lead, that's directing the course. So I'm not saying steal other people's clients. I'm not saying interfere with another agent's client. That's not what's happening here at all. What I'm saying is, I have an agent can mean a lot of different things. And when you come from a place of service and still send the people properties anyway, and ask them how it's going with their agent, and answer questions that they have, instead of just saying, oh, you got an agent, thanks, click. Well, it doesn't always work out with the first agent. We know that. And when you treat everyone like a client, you send them properties, you follow up with them, you see how you can help them, and you ask them how it's going, it may not be going well with that agent if they're calling you. And that's something you need to understand. And if it is going great, awesome. Let them work with that person, give them some information, and move on. But when you treat your business like a professional service business and ask those questions and do the right thing 100% of the time, you're going to win more people. Just saying, hey, you got an agent, sorry, or I don't want to work with you, or even if there's any mention of an agent, a lot of people want their business to be earned. And when you follow up and send properties and do these things, it can go a long way, or you might even get a referral from that person. So those are the 4 situations that are killing buyer relationships right now. If you got questions, you want more info, you know how to get in touch with me. Watch this one a couple times. Make sure you're going through studying the scripts, because when you offer solutions, you offer help, you offer information, your business will benefit.